welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you my TBR for Historathon 3.0. Okay, so if you are new here, my name is Karina Joy and I talk about books on this channel. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I enjoy having you here and I enjoy the conversations we have about books and all of the things. If you have not subscribed yet, I would appreciate if you do. So hit the subscribe button below, and if you want to be notified of new videos coming out, you can also click that little bell icon there. It will tell you when I put out new videos. I try to put out new videos 2 or 3 times a week if time allows me to do so. Okay, so I am going to be joining in November with Gloria from Gloria Z. Thompson, Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library, and Amanda from the Curly Reader with them on their Historathon. It's actually been a little while since I've read historical fiction. I kind of got burned out a little bit, and so I'm really excited because I have quite a few interesting books sitting here. I really had fun going through the prompts to figure out what I wanted to read, and so I'm looking forward to it. I am also going to be doing a my own read-a-thon in November that is called Nostalgic November Re-Read-A-Thon, and that will be the first week of November. I will post the announcement video here if you are interested. Please go and check that out. But yeah, so let's get into what I'm reading for Historathon. So I found it so incredibly cool the way that they came up with this, these prompts. It's called A Stitch in Time, and I'll have, if I can get it, I'll have the graphic right here. But basically every prompt is based off of the previous book, which is actually how I used to do my TBRs. I would pick something to do with the book I was on to pick my next book. And so I actually really enjoyed doing that. So it was fun to be able to do that again. I haven't done it in a long time. I might have to try to do it some next year as well too, because this kind of reminded me how much I really enjoy doing that. But the first book is the first prompt is to read a book with Lost in the title. So the reason that they did this is their group read has Lost in the title. So if you want to read that book, you can. If not, you can pick your own book with Lost in the title. But I am going to read the group read with them, and it is The Lost Girls of Willowbrook by Ellen Marie Wiseman. I'm not real sure what this book is about. I just know that it is the group read. I think it's about a home for girls and things that go down in that story, but I'm not exactly sure. But I'm excited for it. So that's the first book. The next prompt is to read a book set in a different country than your previous book. So the first book, The Lost Girls of Willowbrook, is set in New York City. So I had to pick a book from any other country than the United States. And so the book that I picked was Hum If You Don't Know the Words by Bianca Mariez, I think. This is a book that is set in South Africa during apartheid, I believe, and it is following a Black woman and a white young girl, she's a teenager as far as I know, and their walk through that time in history in South Africa. So I am really looking forward to reading this. Yeah, so that's for that prompt. Then the next one was kind of hard because this is the only cover that I have that looks like this, but it says read a book with a similar cover, and so I had no other books in my historical fiction pile that were even remotely green, so I went with the yellow, and I picked this one. So this one has words all over it, and it also has these branches without leaves. So I figured that would work. But this is Wolf Hollow. This is about a little girl who basically helps out a veteran who is being bullied by some kids in the area because they don't like him, and all of the lessons that are learned along the way. So I have heard really good things about this. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is a Newbery Medal winner. I'll post for sure here. It's either an honor or a medal, so I will let you know here for sure. But I've heard some really good things about this. Okay, so the next prompt was to read a book in a different decade as the previous book. So I picked this one. Now this one kind of caters to my nerdy side. It is historical fiction, but it also has a little bit of sci-fi in it because there's time travel. So yeah, that's what I did. But this is a rip through time, and this is set in the 1800s. This is about a woman who is a detective, and she ends up going back in time to the 1800s. Yeah, so I don't know a whole lot about it, and I don't want to know a whole lot because I don't like any spoilers on mysteries, and I feel like these blurbs that they do just give too much away, and it always makes me upset. So I'm not going to read the synopsis, but this one I think will be fun because it has time travel in it, and it'll kind of give me my nerdy sci-fi fix for the month. Okay, so the next one was read a book with the authors where the author's last name starts with the same letter as the author's last name in the previous book. Okay, so this book was by Kelly Armstrong, so A was the letter that I needed, and so I picked Before We Were Free by Julia Alvarez. I really wish bookstores would not put stickers. Oh, wow. Way to go, Half Price Books. It actually came off without any sticky left, which I am super excited about because I really hate stickers on my covers. But anyway, so this is Before We Were Free, and this is about a little girl and her family who are part of the Dominican Republic, and they end up moving to the United States, and just talking about all of the things that happened in the Dominican Republic before they moved. And so I'm very interested in this. I think it will be a good one, and yeah. Okay, so the next one was to find a book with less pages than the previous one. Look at this. This is teeny. This book is, let's see, 163 pages. And so, yeah, I had to find one with less than that, which is okay. I need a couple of shorter ones so that I can get everything done. But I actually ended up having one that was shorter, and it is also one I'm very interested in, and it is called A Long Walk to Water. This is about I believe, I don't have the dust jacket anymore, so I don't know the synopsis, but I believe it's about a little boy in Africa, and obviously about how they end up getting water for their village. I don't know. I really don't know anything about it, but I know I've been interested and I've heard great things, so that will be for that prompt. Okay, so the next one, the protagonist had to be a different race than the protagonist in this book. So in this book, the protagonist is African, and so I went with the Guernsey Literary and Potato Pill Pie Society, and the main protagonists, I think there's more than one in these books, are German, and so that counts for that. I am excited about this book. I've heard a lot of amazing things, but I have never read it, And so yeah, I'm looking forward to this one as well. The next prompt I actually don't think I could find, and that's because I don't own a ton of books, and this author I don't think has blurbed any of my books that I own. But the next prompt is the author. So read a book that the author of your previous book has either reviewed or blurbed. And so that would mean that Mary Ann Schaefer or Annie Barrows would have had to have reviewed that book. And so I decided to skip that prompt and move on to the next one. And it is the same number of letters in the title. So this one has 43 letters in the title. So yeah, I wasn't able to find a book with that many letters. So I just decided to do the closest. And so that is going to be The Memory Keeper's Daughter. This one is about, I believe it's a doctor who delivers his wife's twins, and one of them has Down syndrome. And he decides that he wants to get rid of the baby and tells the nurse to do that, and the nurse does not want to do that and takes the baby and raises the baby as their own. So yeah, that sounds really good and very interesting, and so I thought I would pick that one up. So that is my pile of books for Historathon. I am really looking forward to reading all of these. These are all books that have been on my list for a long time, and they've been buried in this pile of books back here for a few months now. And so I dug through everything, found all my historical fictions, and I was reminded of how many great books that I have. And so I'm excited. So I think November is going to be a really great month with my Nostalgic November Re-Read-A-Thon and then this Historathon as well. Altogether, I will have 10 books on my list, so I'm hoping I get to all of them. But November can be kind of crazy because of Thanksgiving and all of that. But I definitely have a good pile of possibilities. If I don't get to all of them, that's okay. That is all for this video. Comment below if you're joining in on Historathon and let me know some of the books that you're reading for this readathon. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.